So it meant working with colleagues on all sides of the house, and
It's called politicking.
it wasn't easy with some
It's
colleagues.
called politicking.
Yes,
I'm going to call the name Marlene
Jennings.
Jennings.
Yes,
What's your reaction?
Maureen Jennings is the only black woman who is in the House of Commons right now. And I'm sure for her it must be a pretty lonely place because I know what it was like when I first got there.
And she's out of Quebec.
And yes, I think she was the first black woman from Quebec to get
Again,
into
another
the
first.
parliament. And that was, I think, I was elected in '93, and I think she came in '97, in the '97 election. But again, I think we all have to work to be in all of those boardrooms and places and legislatures because it's so important for our children and so important for ourselves that we are represented and we're seen and we add our talents or skills or expertise and experience in many areas.
Now, you came out from the academic
Hmm.
field. You went into politics.
Yes.
You were you were a teacher. Then you move up to most likely a vice principal, a principal. What's the drive? What keeps on driving you? You
Well,
mean
there is no drive. I think that you set some goals for yourself. You want to be the best that you can possibly be. So if you're a teacher, then and you want to be the best you can possibly be, then there are ways in which you operate that someone will say, "Hey, friend, come up higher," or you can do far more. Or you set yourself some goals that I want to be at this particular point in my career. And so my career was not to be a teacher and be in the classroom and that's it. I had some goals for myself that I would move through the system, be part of whatever the system offered. So it was classroom teacher, it was resource teacher, it was vice principal, it was principal, it was get your supervisory officers' papers and move yourself forward in the system. Be the best you can because you cannot say to other people in the community, to young people, go for it, and you yourself would be sitting back. So that was really, and remember that from education or while in education, I was very much involved in the community, very much involved in all of the organizations and happenings and activism and things like that. Because remember in 1960, I said that the other day, 1960, when I arrived, there were very few things that we can look at and say these are some legislative things. There was no Human Rights Commission, there was no landlord and tenant, there were no harassment policies, there were no pay equity. I mean, all of these things. So there was a lot of activism, and a lot of us had to be engaged and involved. So I threw myself in.
you certainly did, and I think that with all that the honorable have just said, it is still very humble because this lady had to learn the French language in order to be accepted to get up to where you got. Okay, it wasn't that was not part of
Well,
the
I didn't-
Grenadian twang.
Well, yes, I did. In Grenada, I took French. I went to St. Joseph's Convent High School in French for your Oxford and Cambridge Overseas School Certificate. Your A levels or whatever name it's called now. You had to have a language, and so I took French. And so I came with an understanding. I was able to read and able to write French. So I didn't go tabula rasa, although I regretted that I was able to read and write because when it came time for the fluency in terms of speaking, I found myself saying, now, is it singular? Is it plural? Is it masculine? Is it feminine? And I was doing all the,
Right.
the
conversion is in your head.
in my head rather than just opening my mouth and let it freely happen. But when I was sitting in the chair at the House of Commons as one of the speakers, the deputy speaker at the time, I had to learn certain phrases and expressions and whatever else and be able to to say excuse me, to say certain things and make myself understood.
Is French helpful to you when you visit Africa, which you so often do?
Well, there are some of the French countries, and actually, when I am in many of the French countries, I find that the French there is very easy to understand. People are clear and it's once you're in the environment, once you're in the environment where everybody else is speaking French,
Parlez-vous français? You just speak French. Okay. In wrapping up, you accomplished so many things. You've got a few awards that you give. A very admirable one. As a single parent myself, the Honorable has an award. It's a scholarship at George Brown for single parents who are going back to school full time. That was not around in my time. So you've got many things. Can you just tell us some of the things that you're involved in? I know that you're at York University. Be bragful, just for
brag.
1 minute. Just
Well,
brag for 1 minute.
I have a scholarship at George Brown for single mothers, as you said, and that scholarship has been going for many years now. It's endowed, and so I have a dinner once a year, and whatever is raised goes into the scholarship. I've started one at Centennial College,
Lovely.
and that again will help a young person to go through the system. At York University, I've given them all what could be called my legacy things: my robes from the House of Commons, my speaker's chair, my photographs, my speeches, my tapes, all the stuff that's part of what I have accumulated over the years. And so this is all archived at York University. And in return, York has honored me with a chair in my name in the Faculty of Education, and it is to teach today's teachers how to open today's classrooms and teach today's children. And that's a $3 million endowed chair, and we've been raising monies to ensure that endowment is secure, and the professor who holds the chair is now in place, and so the work of the chair has started. And I'm very, very happy about this because I think this is really looking to the future, looking at something that will help all teachers, regardless of race and color and other status, that all teachers would benefit and all children will benefit as a result of the work of the chair. So I'm very proud about this. We're still short 1 million, so I'm not too sure if you can throw something in there.
I'll throw something in there.
But
Yes.
again, the community has been tremendous because most of the money has been raised in the community by community folks. And I'm happy about this because I want the community to feel that that chair at the university is also part of their achievement.
I think now you see why I called the Honorable the Quiet Storm. She has accomplished so much. She keeps on accomplishing. She keeps on caring for our community. And we're really, really happy to have someone like this with all her strengths just to keep us going. I want to thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.